We've got one of our lovely sponsors here, Henny from Kneewares. You are founder extraordinaire, got all the information. Yeah. We're going to go through a little bit about, I suppose, I'd love to know how it all started, why it started, tell me the story, and then we might talk a little bit about comp, if that's okay.
For sure. Well, yeah, these are beautiful cups that everybody's using today, thanks to Coffee Tools and, of course, myself. We actually designed these cups for Brewers Cup. I was using these in the competition back in 2021 is where the first iterations of this cup we designed with the local ceramicist. And then since then I kind of took the journey to become an entrepreneur and, founder, janitor, social media, everything. And it's been really lucky. We've had a whole bunch of people take it on board. And obviously the cups are built by science. I studied a lot of kind of gastronomy, which is the study of food, and particularly wine and tea, to learn how shape, color, weight, texture, and all your five senses kind of interact with coffee.
I'm going to stop you right there because that's the bit I want to know. All the competitors obviously using these cups in the Ask a Brewers Cup, and they've been really clear in saying, drink from this side, drink from the thin side, drink from the thick side. So I suppose start there would be great. Even, is the vessel size got something to do with it? I've got 30 minutes, so I want to know everything.
Yeah, sweet. I'm happy to sell myself for as long as possible if we're going to get some more people with this in their hands. So I'll go through kind of all the features. We'll start with the most prominent features, which is the singular line and the double line. When I was doing a lot of my testing, I was actually testing a lot of different thicknesses and shapes, particularly with the lip itself. And then I discovered that I really enjoyed two different styles. And that was kind of when I realized the constraints of the competition not allowing us to use two different cups for people is where that kind of idea of just making it 2 for 1. And how it really works is basically the way the fluid hits your palate. Coffee is really complex. It's got all your 5 tastes: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, umami. All of those things will be portrayed differently depending on the way it hits your palate. We've all seen that tongue diagram. I don't believe it's fully true, but it's somewhat true. Clearly, when you're drinking from these two different sides, you'll highlight different parts of the coffee. And you may notice the cups kind of seem slightly off-centered. It's actually slanted more to the thick side. So when you're drinking, you have to tilt the cup a lot more than you normally would if you drink from the thin side. So the breaking point's different. So definitely the flow is a lot thicker and fuller when you drink from the thick side. So they're the small sublimities we worked with to kind of help people really see the difference. Yeah.
Great. So I suppose what we're talking about there is we've got our batch brew, we're drinking it. Is it maybe going to be more prominent for different style coffees that you would encourage them to drink from different sides? I think a lot of people have encouraged the thinner side in the Brewers Comp, if I remember correctly. So what is the thinner side going to allow? I'm assuming because of the angle with the thicker side becoming more horizontal, more fluid comes out, and it's going to coat your mouth extremely different with the thinner side where maybe you're pulling back a little bit on that.
Yeah, so I've watched a lot on the live stream as well, which has been great just to see what everyone's doing and where they're all sitting. I've noticed a lot of people talking about sweetness and mouthfeel when they drink from the thick side because that thick layer, you're perceiving more weight on your palate. So that's actually why you think that it's a better texture, even though the liquid's the same. And for the thinner side, because it's a thinner layer of coffee across the palate, it sprays more. You're going to get more aromatics, typically more flavor clarity. So a lot of people that I've seen today is they're focusing on acidity, flavor, and maybe overall focused on the thin side, and then mainly thinking about sweetness and mouthfeel when talking on the thick side. And it really depends on how you brew. So if you're a bit of a lighter brewer, and you are working with light roasted coffee, you typically prefer the thick side. And people who are roasting a little bit more soluble, a little bit more dark, they'll be on the thin side. And that was something I've realized when I started to travel a lot, seeing how different people interact. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we're nearly done. Don't run away yet. Let's talk about color and then volume.
Yeah, for sure. So color influences the way we experience coffee. You're starting to see a lot of different people using pink colored vessels, which is really, really cool. And that's because the color red and pink have been scientifically proven to perceive higher levels of sweetness. And a really easy way to explain this experiment is that they ran a test with a lolly, one that was red and one that was clear. And then they did obviously a huge variety. And even though the lolly itself was exactly the same, the perception was sweeter because of the color. And this is because of a psychological assumption that you're going to be making. You pick up something that's pink, your brain's already making some decisions. If you're at home and you want to test this yourself, grab a cup of coffee, it doesn't matter what color it is, and start looking at different colors in the room while you're drinking. You'll notice if you look at something black, it's going to taste more bitter, and then if you look at something pink, it'll be sweeter. Shape and volume. Okay, so this is 400 mils. I would not recommend putting 400 mils in here. I was putting about 170 mils in this. You want to think about this like a wine glass. So this is your red wine, and we also have another version called Kiki, which is more skinny, and it's more like a champagne style. So if you actually want to think about it, there's definitely champagne style coffees, and then there's a more red wine style coffees. So your red wine style coffees would be those big anaerobics, co-ferments, coffees that have long extended fermentation or naturals. This kind of huge surface area, especially if you only put 170 mils, the surface area is like doubled or tripled. So you're kind of really getting a lot of opening up of the aroma, especially for the nose, which is really good for coffees that need to be opened up. Washed geisha, really pretty and delicate coffees I would usually recommend on the Kiki, but I have seen a lot of people using washed coffees, 2 washed coffees in the boba. So I'm pretty excited to see how they go and see how it tastes. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. And at what point did you realize you were a nerd?
I don't really ever consider myself a nerd, but then like I start talking about the coffee stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just falling into it. I'm trying to be cool though. Like, is it working? Nerds are cool. Okay, cool. All right.
Well, I've learned more about ceramics today than I have in the last 20 years in coffee. So, the last thing is, where can we buy them?
Talk to my friend here, Curtis, at Coffee Tools. If you're a cafe, B2B, he'll take care of you. And B2C, you can jump on niwares.com.
That's amazing. Thanks so much for your time. I'm glad I caught you. And everybody should get in, drink some really cool cups of coffee. And I suppose think about the overall experience. It's not just about what we're brewing. It's a 360-degree experience. So thanks so much. And we'll talk again soon.